Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd pop on and share the second of 3 or maybe 4 layout shares from my Poland album. Thank you so much to everybody who left such lovely and wonderful comments on the first part of this. So I'm happy you enjoyed some of this going back a few years, seeing the mix of old and new, and hearing a little bit about my travels. So the second part of this I'll be showing you the layouts from Krakow. Now Krakow, I guess the best way of describing it, in the first part we did Warsaw, which is the capital, maybe the financial center, the government center, whereas Krakow is more cultural, a little bit more historical. This is where the Jewish ghetto was during World War II, where Schindler's factory was, and it's very, very close, just about a 20-minute bus ride to Auschwitz, which I'm not covering in this layout. Please tell me below if you'd like to see the layouts for Auschwitz. They were a little bit more, that day was a little bit more difficult. It was more of an emotional day, a little harder to scrapbook, although I did try and capture the personality and the feel and the mood of the place. So let me know if you'd like me to skip over that part, or if you would still like to see the layouts that I did documenting Auschwitz. But first, let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's come along with me to Krakow. So these two first photos are sort of like an introductory page, I guess, to the city. The downtown square, just outside of the older part of town, or I guess the old town, a little bit, and there's this big square, a marketplace, at different times of the week and different times of the day. So I think this particular layout, and quite a few of the layouts in this portion of the album were done in one of our Secret Not Secret Kit Club weekend parties. This was, I think, back in the fall, or maybe even the spring. I can't quite remember now. And this, I definitely know I did for a Grab 5 challenge. I'm not sure if I can remember exactly every element, but for sure hexagons were there, stenciling was there, stamping was there. I have a feeling wood veneer was there because I have just this random wood veneer up here that says Sunday. I have no idea whether this was actually a Sunday. And that would leave me with one more item. Maybe chipboard, maybe something glittery. I'm not quite sure, but it was definitely done for a Grab 5. The background is just a craft cardstock. I used a stencil that I have, which is a hexagon stencil. And the ink I used here, I think, is Soft Suede from Stampin' Up. This is a very old Simple Stories collection. I had a couple of sheets, or part of this sheet, left. I think it might have been 24/7. Definitely an older collection. I just stamped here Kind of Awesome, and I think this was probably a stamp that I got either from Scraptastic or maybe even before that from a Citrus Twist kit. Another little wood veneer with just the year, 06. Some of these hexagon, these are all fussy cut out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, by the way. And I popped some up on Pop Dots and others lie flat on the page. A little bit of chipboard with just a quick little label sticker underneath, and some gold enamel dots here, and a couple of the asterisks, 3 of the asterisks that come from this same gorgeous alpha. So that is the first layout in that portion of the album. Now the second layout here is actually a double page spread. And it's a double page spread that I did for one of the sketch challenges in the Mercy Tiara 27-day challenge group. And I had put quite a few sketches up. So I think this actually might have been in the spring, because I think I might have put this up for International Scrapbooking Day. Some of the challenges that we had were some of the sketch inspiration. So I went back here to some Chamel. This I think is Little by Little or Go Now Go. I can't remember which of the two. I think it might be Go Now Go. And I just sort of went across the page here with this lovely paper here, which is about a 4 by 12, I guess. And then this one here, which is at least a 6. I think this is probably a 6-inch piece. And I must have had 2. I guess I had 2 sheets of this paper so that I could really get it all the way across like this. And then just here in the middle, to join these together, this is a very old paper that I had in my stash. And it's actually a paper that when you see it as the 12 by 12, it has some large Eiffel Towers and here's some smaller Eiffel Towers on them. But the way I cut the paper, you really couldn't tell. And what I was going for here was simply the colors. I was trying to match and to bridge the color schemes between these two. So I just used here a nice scallop punch, and then just, this is the other side of that, and just did a 1/2-inch strip here and laid it along. These alphas were from Julie Bean Soup. They came in, you know, those alphas that come all together. They were in like a die cut packaging kind of thing. So I just put here, this is the castle, the Wawel Castle in Krakow. Inside, sort of the inner courtyard of the castle and seen from the outside. Then I did, now this I was definitely following a sketch, and I guess if you want to see that, you could pop on over to the Mercy Tiara group and go back into the albums and see. Or if you really, really want to see the sketch and you want a little bit more information about this layout, just pop me a comment below and I'll try and go tag you over in the group. If you are not part of that group, I will leave the link below so you can come over and join us. We have a monthly main challenge, which generally has a little stash prize that goes along with it, or just a small, like $10 gift certificate or something to an online shop. And we have 4 times a year a series of seasonal challenges. This is something I started last year, which has been very, very popular. So it runs for about 6 weeks and there are about 6 challenges, and there's one main prize. And when I am able, I do include maybe a couple of other little stash prizes. So there you go. A little bit of PR there while I'm at it, while I'm sharing. So this is definitely from a Chamel sticker book, as is this, and this little sticker here. These are some large enamel shapes, and I think they might have been from Doodlebug. Very large in some nice, bright, bold colors, stars. And this one here, I just popped up on Pop Dots. A little bit of journaling here, just popped a little journaling card underneath. And I also used a couple of little washi strips and washi stickers on this one. So really a nice traditional type 2-pager with the 3 sort of main clusters, still a lot of breathing room to see all of the lovely papers and supplies. So there's the first one, and here's a little bit of a close-up to the second one. There we go. This here, now this one and the next layout, I believe, are using a very old, it's a 2013 Authentique collection, and the collection was called Strong. I thought it was very apt for some of the layouts that I was scrapping about this portion of my trip. So I really hardly have any of that left. I have one 12 by 12 piece of paper left, a few little scraps of paper, and I do have quite a bit of a sticker sheet though, because the sticker sheet is maybe a little bit more. I think this was a father's collection. So the stickers are maybe a little bit more themed, so I've not used as many of the stickers, so I do have a lot more of that left. So here we go, and this was certainly done for Secret Not Secret Kit Club Party Challenge. I don't remember which challenge it was for, but here I just used again, another craft background. This is just a picture of the pensione, of my room in the pensione. And then here I put hard journey, extreme, spirited, rough. That sort of defines maybe a little bit of that week, because the journaling here reads, little did we know that our pensione would be right in the Jewish ghetto, 400 meters from Schindler's factory. This dictated a full themed week, memorable, difficult, but totally worth it. So that sort of sums it all up. I have a little bit of a doily here, some banners. I do love banners. I love the little bit of interest that they add. Some of these are not glued all the way down, just to give a little bit of extra dimension. This is for sure from a Spiegel Mom Scraps cork set of ephemera that I have had. This is a little tag that I made, so surely part of the challenge must have been to get a tag on here. Just layered up some paper, so went from about 11 inches, even 11.5 inches down, and then just staggered the lengths and the widths here to give a little bit. Used some scraps to layer behind the photo, and the photo is popped up on some pop dots. And here I just did a fun little cluster of tags and tickets. So there you go. That is the next layout. This one was again definitely another challenge, and I'm sure this challenge called for frames, because I very specifically have, and these are some older Simple Stories frames that I have here. Maybe some banners. There must have been a call for circles, or this might have even been a sketch challenge. I can't remember because of this lovely, this is not something that I would tend to necessarily do on my own with the title up here. So View from the Ghetto. So I think this was probably a sketch. Again, using that Authentique collection. I really love the colors, and I thought the colors also matched the mood of a lot of the photos in this portion. So this was from the ghetto itself, and this shows there are a couple of bridges over the river into the older part of Krakow, which is here. This was definitely from a bridge, which is probably located round about here. Did quite a few layers of circles, rectangular shapes, a lot of scraps that I was able to use from some of the other layouts, a little bit of clustering with some butterflies, and I remember using these are from Jilly Bean Soup for sure, and I think I was able to get the rest of this pack used up. A chipboard heart, a little bit of a wood veneer banner here, a label, a little vellum heart. So this is fun. There's a lot of little different textures on here with the chipboard, the vellum, the paper popping up on pop dots, some wood veneer. This is very, very, very thin wood veneer. And I think the majority of these wood veneer had words printed. So I just cut off the end parts and use the little end parts, or you can see here just peeking out, I've hidden a word. These lovely craft, these are lovely thickers. I think I actually still have a little bit of this left, so I should go over there and use some of these up some more. They're a nice, thin, long, thin, thicker. They are chipboard, so of course I did have to use some extra glue to glue them down. So there you have it. This, I love this layout, actually. I think this is going to become, now that I think of it, this should be a go-to design. This really should be a go-to design. There's so much you could do for this. Look, you could do it this way as well, and you could do it this way as well, and you could probably even do it this way, although this way I think might be a little bit top heavy. I think I would probably reduce some of the layers here because it would feel, and even just feeling it in my hand it is, or add some extra dimension down to this area, but certainly this way, the original way. So, and those are the types of things that I look for in go-to designs. Don't worry, never fret. That video is coming up. It'll definitely, I think it's the next video to be posted. There we go. And then this is the actual Schindler factory back in 2006. I think today it has actually been converted into a museum, and it's open to the public as a museum, but really in 2006 it was really just there, and it was just abandoned. And as you can see here, it was really just an abandoned buildings, and you could see that nothing had happened in that factory for many years, but it was quite emotional to go. And I had not read the book, nor had I seen the movie. And so I made that part of this week as well. I went to the Jewish Museum in the Old Town. I bought the book, and I was able to find a way of streaming the movie during that same week. So again, here I'm using the Authentique paper collection, and I think this actual paper, I think might be a Maggie Holmes paper that I had in my stash. And the journaling on this one is, we made it a bit of a pilgrimage. 1 week, our pensione was in the ghetto, 400 meters from the factory. Then the museum, I bought the book, and finally the hardest part, going to Auschwitz. Some punched out circles here that I just used from the papers and the scraps from the previous layouts. This is a rather simple layout. Just did a little bit of a cluster here to tie these two and to get rid of that rather harsh little angle here, as these photos are a little bit more angled than I usually do. Then a wood button, and this was definitely, these two are from a Chamel collection, probably Little by Little, a little wood veneer geotag. These are, so there you go. So I guess maybe it was the fall. I can't remember now, because these are the Paige Evans, those gorgeous little thickers. And I can't remember whether I got those in the spring. Could it be that long already? I don't know. If you know, let me know. Or was it the fall? So there you go. So that is this one. And then here, this, we go back, oh my gosh, this was one of the very first layouts I ever did. For sure, this layout was done as part of that class I mentioned in my last layout. And oh my God, you know what? I came this close to actually redoing this layout, but then I said, you know what? No, it's in my album. It is what it is. I did it back in 2007. This is not my style. I don't actually think it was my style when I even did the layout, although I'm not sure I knew what my style was at that point, but it was really done in a class. So we did some heat embossing here. And this, if you look at this, this is the sort of, I guess, ancestor, or this is actually foiling. And I did this back in 2007. Didn't do a very good job. In fact, really did not do a good job at all. Because what it is underneath here, it was sort of like a pen, like a glue, a dimensional type glue pen that we wrote with. and it was very difficult to get it smooth. So you can see here, it's a little bit blotchy. And then you just took the foil, and the foil then was similar to what it is now. Actually, it was like in 4x6 sheets, laid it on, and just rubbed it. So I think back then when I did take it off, it was fully covered, but I don't know whether I put this layout away before it was dry or whether it's just over time, since this has been about 12 years, I think, since I've done this layout, whether it just came away and it flattened it. You know what? It's actually kind of sticky, so I don't really know what this kind of stuff was, but it was definitely some foiling. And this is the French word for emotional, donc émouvant. It's both, the word actually means emotional and touching, I guess, at the same time. I have no idea where these supplies come from, what company made these. These, I think, are just some clear stickers that I added. This was just a big letter that I think we probably put some paper on. It's more cardstock than it is chipboard, excuse me. And then this sort of like net kind of material that I put a little bit behind here. Boy, this is a blast from the past. And look, there's a lot of purple here, but I have to say, people, I mean, it's in here to remind me of how I started scrapbooking, the way I started scrapbooking, but I don't know about this layout really. But that photo, I don't know. I might just try and scrapbook that photo again, but I still don't think I'm going to remove or discard this layout. You tell me what you think. Do you have layouts from way back when that you don't like, or even layouts that you do now that that might not be your favorites, that you don't like? Do you re-scrap them? Do you leave them saying, look, this is what it was, so therefore this is what it is? Let me know your thoughts on that. So once again, thank you for joining me. I will put links to the Mercy Tiara group down below, to the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and I will see you again very, very, very soon. Bye.